In a small coastal village called the Sea of Souls, the inhabitants lived in harmony with nature and the ocean. However, there was a legend whispered among them, a warning about stormy nights. Never venture into the sea after dark. Celia, a curious and brave young woman, had grown up hearing those tales, but her adventurous spirit led her to question the warnings. One night, after a particularly violent storm, curiosity overcame fear. She decided that at dawn, she would explore the beach and see what the tempest had left behind. When she arrived at sunrise, the beach was littered with remnants of seaweed and driftwood. However, in the center of the beach, she found something different, a small wooden boat, weathered but intact. Without a second thought, she approached to investigate. The boat had strange carvings on its side, as if telling a story from another time. As she examined it, she noticed something glimmering in the sand. It was an ancient medallion designed in the shape of a wave. When she touched it, a chill ran through her body. At that moment, a soft voice like the murmur of the sea began to resonate in her mind. "Help me." Terrified yet intrigued, Celia decided to take the medallion home. That night, as she slept, the voice returned. It was a persuasive whisper speaking of an underwater world, of souls trapped in the ocean, and a hidden treasure that could free those suffering in the depths. The next day, Celia became obsessed with the idea of uncovering that treasure. However, something changed in the village's atmosphere. Fishermen began to share strange sightings on the horizon, figures emerging from the water, shadows that seemed to be searching for something. The waves carried an echo of lamentations that filled the air, and the elders of the village watched Celia with concern. Ignoring the warnings, she prepared for an expedition. She gathered a group of friends, convinced by her enthusiasm. As evening fell, they headed to the little boat she had found. With the tide high, they decided to set sail. The sky was clear, but the atmosphere was tense. As they ventured into the sea, the silence became overwhelming. Suddenly, the water began to churn, and the wind picked up fiercely. A strange glow emerged from the depths, illuminating the seafloor. It was then that they saw human figures, pale and ethereal, swimming towards them. They were the trapped souls that Celia had heard in the whispers. One of them, a woman with dark hair and a sorrowful face, rose from the water, her penetrating gaze fixed on Celia. "The medallion," she said in a melancholic voice. "Return it, and you will free those who are condemned." Celia, paralyzed by fear and fascination, didn't know what to do. Her friends, terrified, began to scream. The souls drew closer, their hands outstretched as if they wanted to touch them. In a moment of panic, Celia threw the medallion into the sea. The souls screamed in a heart-wrenching echo, and the waters began to churn violently. A whirlpool formed around the boat, pulling them down. Celia and her friends struggled to stay afloat, but the current was too strong. The souls, now visible in their true form, emerged from the water in desperation. "We need you!" they shouted in unison, but fear had consumed the young people. Finally, the boat capsized, and all were swallowed by the ocean. In the darkness of the water, Celia felt a cold embrace as the voices transformed into a song. "We need you." The pressure of the sea enveloped her, and in one last breath, she understood that the treasure was not gold or jewels, but the freedom of those lost souls. She awoke on the beach, surrounded by the remnants of the storm. The medallion lay beside her, intact. She looked out at the sea and for a moment saw the souls floating on the surface, free and at peace. From that day on, the village never heard whispers on stormy nights again, and Celia, marked by the experience, became the guardian of the legend. Every dawn, she gazed out at the ocean, remembering the connection she had forged with the other world. Deep in her heart, she knew that the sea would always hold secrets, and that the souls of the lost would never truly leave. Sometimes, on nights with a full moon, she believed she could hear a soft whisper, a reminder of what she had lived and the eternal dance between the sea and souls.